Act 2, Scene 5, Cardinal.
Very fine. Is this her wit or honesty that speaks thus? I heard one say the Duke was highly moved with a letter sent from Malfi. I do fair. Antonio is betrayed. How fearfully shows his ambition now. Unfortunate fortune. They pass through whirlpools and deep woods do shun, who the event weigh ere the action is done. So, two things that Delio mentions here. One is that he is now sure that Antonio has been betrayed by somebody. And he also tells you that it was his ambition that moved him. His ambition moved him to woo Duchess in the first place and then marry her. We'll see if we'll get further explanations about this. Was Antonio actually ambitious about it? Was that his ambition to get married to the Duchess? We'll get to know later if this turns out to be the truth. But this is Delio's take on the issue. The other thing he tells you is that they pass through whirlpools and deep woes who shun who they even weigh ere the action is done. The people who weigh too much before they take an action, people who are very careful about taking an action, who weigh everything, weigh every factor that is involved in in doing something before they attempt it, are the ones who actually suffer the most. They pass through whirlpools and deep woes, do shun who the event weigh ere the action is done. And he exits. And now scene 5 is Cardinal and Ferdinand with the letter. Let's read this. I'll play Cardinal, you will play Ferdinand.
I'll play Cardinal, please.
Okay, you'll play Cardinal, I'll play Ferdinand. I have this night digged up a mandrake,
Say you?
and I'm grown mad with it.
What's the prodigy?
Read there. A sister damned. She's loose in the hills, grown a notorious strumpet.
Speak lower.
Lower, rogues do not whisper it now, but seek to publish it, as servants do the bounty of their lords aloud, and with a covetous searching eye to mark who note them. Oh, confusion seize her. She hath had most cunning boards to serve her turn, and more secure conveyances for lust than towns of garrison for service.
Is it possible? Can this be certain?
Rhubarb, oh for rhubarb, to purge the scholar. Here is the cursed day to prompt my memory, and here it shall stick till of her bleeding heart I make a sponge to wipe it out.
What do you make yourself so wild a tempest? Why do you make that?
Would I could be one that I might toss her palace about her ears, root up her goodly forest, blast her meads, and lay her general territory as waste as she hath done her honours.
Shall our blood, the royal blood of Aragon and Castile, be thus atta- tainted?
Apply desperate physic. We must not now use balsamum, but fire. The smarting cupping glass, for that is the mean to purge infected blood, such blood as hers. There's a kind of pity in mine eye. I'll give it to my handkerchief, and now 'tis here. I'll bequeath this to her bastard.
What to do?
Why, to make soft lint for his mother's wounds when I have hewed her to pieces.
Cursed creature, unequal nature to place woman's heart was so far upon the left side.
Foolish men that ever will trust their honour in a bark made of so slight weak bulrush as is woman, apt every minute to sink it.
Thus ignorance, when it hath purchased honour, it cannot wield it.
Methinks I see her laughing. Excellent hyena! Talk to me somewhat quickly, or my imagination will carry me to see her in the shameful act of sin,
With whom?
happily with some strong thighed barge man, or one on the woodyard that can quit the sledge. Quit the sledge, must be. Miss again. No, it's quite. Or one um, happily with some strong-thighed bargeman, or one on the woodyard that can quoit the sledge, or toss the bar, or else some lovely squire that carries coals up to her private lodgings.
You fly beyond your reason.
Go to mistress. 'Tis not your whore's milk that shall quench my wild fire, but your whore's blood.
How ideally shows this range, which carries you, as men conveyed by witches through the air, on violent whirlwinds. This intemperate noise fitly resembles deaf men's shrill discourse, who talk aloud, thinking all other men to have their imperfection.
Have not you my palsy?
Yes, I can be angry without this rupture. There is not in nature a thing that makes man so deformed, so beastly, as doth imperate anger. Chide yourself. You have diverse men who never yet expressed their strong desire for of rest, but by unrest, by vexing of themselves. Come, put yourself in tune.
So I will only study to seem the thing I am not. I could kill her now, in you or in myself, for I do think it is some sin in us. Heaven doth revenge by her.
Are you stark mad?
I would have their bodies burned in a coal pit with the ventage stopped, that their cursed smoke might not ascend to heaven. Or dip the sheet they lie in pitch or sulphur, wrap them in it, and then light them like a mat. Or else to boil the bastard to a cullis, and give it his lecherous father to renew the sin of his back.
I leave you.
Nay, I have done. I'm confident. Had I been damned in hell and should have heard of this, it would have put me into a cold sweat. In, I'll go sleep. Till I know who leaps my sister, I'll not stir. That known, I'll find scorpions to string my whips, and fix her in a general eclipse. Exeunt. Other than the rage you see in Ferdinand, and Cardinal trying to calm him down, and finding his rage unreasonable without any logic in it, and something that he finds is just the flight of his imagination and not something that is true. But Ferdinand is up to do anything with his sister. He can kill her, but not just kill her. In the manner that you see, he is imagining the death, the murder of his sister, is what gives you the gory images, the macabre images that are required for a Jacobean tragedy to unfold. So it begins here. Things are set for you on stage, prepared for you, are prepared for something macabre to happen, to come, and it can be as wild as the imagination of Ferdinand in here, and worse is to come. So, how do you justify Ferdinand's rage? He mentions that he is vengeful because of the honor that has been smudged by their sister. But how do you find the reason? Why do you think he does this?
His incestuous feelings for his sister.
Sorry?
मतलब कार्डिनल भी उसका भाई
Yeah.
her
Given that
his incestuous feelings for his sister क्योंकि कार्डिनल भी उसका भाई है मतलब इतना ओवर रिएक्ट नहीं किया उसने इस न्यूज़ पे तो
Yeah, so given
एंड
that both are
उसका
the brothers, both get to know about this female having married somebody, and now she has born a child out of that, be it a marriage or not a marriage. But the anger of Ferdinand sees no bounds, and we find that he is out of control altogether. Uh, Cardinal says that if you kill her, if she, he says that he is angry because she has undone her honors. And Cardinal says, shall our blood, the royal blood of Aragon and Castile, be thus attainted? Will this is this how this can be uh, paid back? with the murder, with her blood. Ferdinand says, apply desperate physic. We must not now use balsamum, but fire the smarting cupping glass, for that is the mean to purge infected blood, such blood as hers. There's a kind of pity in mine eye. And here he says, this what I am going to do is that I am going to medicinally treat my blood now. Now that this royal blood has been tainted, I'll medicinally treat it by cupping. Cupping is that therapy that is done even now, cupping therapy, where the infected blood is sucked out from certain parts. And he says this blood sucking, this cupping of the blood would be that this rotten blood must be done away with, which means the murder of this dirty blood now, which is no more royal, will actually clean the rest of the blood which is not infected yet. And to this he then says, there is a kind of pity in mine eye. Maybe he is weeping, crying, there are tears in his eyes. I'll give it to my handkerchief, and now 'tis here I will bequeath this to her bastard. Why does he cry? Just because you have been told that there is an incestuous relationship between the two of them, Ferdinand has incestuous feelings towards his sister, doesn't mean it's justified. We need to pick out lines which can justify your answer, and Ulysses will do this. So, one point is that despite the rage, he cries. Despite the rage, he cries. Now, pick out the lines yourself. This is your homework. I'll not go into the detail of this section because mostly this section is about the anger that he shows. And also,
Okay.
what I said is that it's a laying down of the ground, preparing the ground for you to be prepared for the macabre events to unfold. Cardinal is dropping comments. Why do you make yourself so wild, Tempest? Shall our blood be, the royal blood be thus tainted? Is it possible? Can this be certain? Is this news true? And when he says he will avenge it all, what to do? And he says, why to make soft lint for his mother's wounds when I have hewed her to pieces. The anger is to this degree that he will not just throw her into pieces, but he will also not just tear her into pieces, but come on,
Soft lint का मतलब क्या? I don't know.
not just this is when I have hewed her to pieces. So here, what you see, two things are happening here. One is that his limit of his anger is shown to you. That even when she has been, when he hews her into pieces, means she is already dead. But then also, he will make soft lint for his mother's wounds. Lint,
I don't know.
Farooq,
Yes, ma'am.
lint.
No idea.
Soft lint is the bandaging that's used. So we find that he is talking medicine in the scene. He talks medicine, but he also talks about, uh, along with that, violence. So he will be applying balm on the wounds when he has torn her into pieces. What does that mean?
Maybe he is his brother, so he will be like doing the like once iska bhai hone ke naate he'll do his what a brother should do, but doing the royal as being royal, he is not accepting her like doing the wrong things, so he will like turn her into pieces, but after that he will do his brother's duty.
No, I, I'll not take that because it's not just his brother's duty. The anger that you see in this line is out of a lover's anger in jealousy that she has been taken by somebody else. And this part is also of a lover, that the love will remain. So, like I said, pick out those lines that tell you that there can be an incestuous relationship between the two. The lines have to tell you that. Which lines tell you that? And also of a man silencing a woman here. Cursed creature, unequaled nature to place women's heart so far upon the left side. This was believed in this time, 16th, 17th century, that a woman's heart was placed so far left. In fact, not just in 17th century until um, Victorian age. It was believed that a woman's heart is placed far left than that of a man's. That's why she is never constant. And also this is how cardinal, like you find Ferdinand wants to kill her. Cardinal is also of same stereotypical idea about women. So both men, both the brothers have similar opinion about women. And how cardinal treats Julia, maybe you find Ferdinand treating some female like that in the coming sections. mm, okay. Another thing that I want to talk about is this one. Methinks I see her laughing. Excellent, Hannah. Talk to me somewhat quickly, or my imagination will carry me to see her in the shameful act of sin. He is imagining her with some man. Is that what a brother does?
No.
What a lover, out of jealousy,
Mm.
does? I think I'm doing your homework now. Okay, let's do this one. Go to mistress, 'tis not your horse milk that shall quench my wildfire, but your horse blood. The line adds to the idea of incest. The whore's milk shall not quench my wildfire. You associate Ferdinand's emotions, Ferdinand's temperament with fire too much. Even before he says, I will use fire this time and no other physic. Balsamum will not work but fire. But fire. Cupping therapy uses heat to take that blood out. This fire uh, supplements his rage and adds to the idea of how far he can go in his rage. So you can treat this character, associate him with fire, and find more lines where he is associated with the idea of fire here, wildfire. Foolish men that ever will trust their honor in a bark made of so slight, weak bulrush as is woman, apt every minute to sink it. How does a man trust his or her honor? His honor. How does a man trust his honor on a woman who can every minute sink it? She is so slight and weak, like bulrush, and can every minute sink his honor. Is Ferdinand talking about himself? That his brother have trusted their honor onto a duchess too much? Or is he talking about the man Duchess is married to? To his brother, he says that that man has lost his honor because she will very soon sink it. But to himself, he says, I am ruined. But it's not just his honor in the manner of him being the brother of the Duchess, but the lover. Methinks I see her laughing. His imagination is now continuously going bad. His imagination is running wild. First, he imagines her with the man. Now, he imagines her laughing at him. Excellent. Hannah, talk to me somewhat quickly, or my imagination will carry me to see her in the shameful act. Laughing, and then in the shameful act, he sees her. With whom? Happily, with some strong thighed bargeman. So, you see, the men he talks about, these are only low class men. Bargemen. Then, or one on the wood yard that quit the sledge, that draw the sledge, or toss the bar, or else some lovely squire that carries coals to her up to her privy lodgings. All low class men. He can think of only these low class men marrying her, not marrying her. He is very sure she hasn't married. He says that they have involved in a shameful act without marriage. And here in Carrie's Coles is also something that you must have found in other literature of this time. Also, carrying coals means somebody who is associated with a dirty job. A dirty job carries coals. Or it can also mean when somebody submits to indignity, to that man who carries coals up to her privy lodgings. And there can be a possible sexual innuendo as well. Carrying coals can be taken to literally mean as heating up. And privy lodgings, the sexual innuendo there. You fly beyond your reason. And then, it's not her whore's milk that will quench my wildfire. How can he talk like that about his sister? How idly shows this rage which carries you as men conveyed by witches through the air on violent whirlwinds. This intemperate noise fitly resembles deaf men's shrill discourse who talk aloud, thinking all other men to have their imperfection. So you are talking like a deaf man who shrills his discourse, talks so loud, thinking that all other men are hard of hearing. You do the same thing. Your rage is like that. Have not you my palsy? Don't you feel what I feel? Yes, but I can be angry without this rupture. Rupture is rupture.
Overreact करना.
Uh, Emotionally, it's ecstasy, feeling of ecstasy. Without this rupture, there is not in nature a thing that makes man so deformed, so beastly as doth intemperate anger. Nothing can make worse of a man other than intemperate anger. And you will find this deformity, this beastly nature coming into Ferdinand later. following in the following scene. Shide yourself. You have diverse men who never yet expressed their strong desire of rest, but by unrest. Diverse here is the spelling with an E, like I have said before. There are many men who have never expressed their strong desire of rest, but by unrest. The way your unrest speaks is that you require rest by vexing of themselves. Come, put yourself in tune. So I will only study to seem the thing I'm not. Even if I do, even if I try to control myself, I'll only seem to be doing it. I will not be yet calm inside my head. I could kill her now, in you or in myself. For I do think it's some sin in us heaven doth revenge by her. Now look at his logic. I think his crime, what she has done, her immorality has come upon her only because of you or me. Maybe something wrong you or I have done that it has been thrown back onto us in in our sister. Are you stark mad? And then he follows. He doesn't listen to him at all. He continues his rage like these children. I don't know how to stop them. I would have their bodies burnt in a coal pit with the ventage stopped, that their cursed smoke might not ascend to heaven or dip the sheet they lie in pitch or sulphur, wrap them in it, and then light them like a match, or else to boil their bastard to a cullis and give it his lecherous father to renew the sin of his back. This cullis has appeared even before. This is the medicinal, strong potion that is prepared out of various herbs, medicinal herbs. And he says, I will burn them in pitch or sulfur, and after that, whatever he gets out of it, or else to boil their bastard to a cullis. The bastard will be boiled into that strong potion, which he will then give to the lecherous father to renew his sin of his back. Back, like I said, it's a sexual pun, the back of a man in the sexual posture. The sin of his back. I will leave you. Nay, I have done. Nay, I have done means I am sure of what I am going to do now. Nay, I have done. Prepare to do something. I'm confident. Had I been damned in hell and should have heard of this, had I been in hell and heard of this, I would have been in cold sweat. That's ironic. Hellfire, again, fire associated with him. But this would have sent cold sweat, cold shivers down his spine. In, I'll go sleep till I know who loves my sister. So this loves is leaps in some texts till I know who leaps my sister. So leaps have sexual interpretations. Loves does not have that interpretation. Till I know who leaps my sister, I'll not stir. So if it's leaps, it will go with stir. Since she is leaping with a man, I will not stir. This is also something that gives you the hint of the incestuous relationship. Since she is sleeping with a man, I will not stir. So I know of a couple. So this female ditched this man back in college, and the man she replaced him with had a very good hair, very beautiful hair, long and silky hair. The other person, out of jealousy, went bald. So this is what he's going to do. If she's sleeping with some other man, I will not stir. That known, I'll find scorpions to string my whips and fix her in a general eclipse. Now think of this violence. He will attach scorpions to his whip and fix her in general eclipse. It's total eclipse, all darkness. Unless all darkness descends upon her and she is dead. Act 3. Can you guys play this, Antonio and Delio? Choose your parts and read. We are on Act 3, Scene 1.
I'll play
Um,
Antonio.
okay.
Hi. Our noble friend, my most Lord Delio. Oh, you have been a stranger long ago. Come you along with the Lord Ferdinand. Come you along with the Lord Ferdinand.
I did, sir. And how fares your noble Duchess?
Right, fortunately well. She is an excellent feeder of pedigrees. Since you last saw her, she hath had two children more, a son and daughter.
Methinks 'twas yesterday. Let me but wink, and not behold your face, which to mine eye is somewhat leaner. Verily, I should dream it were within this half hour.
You have not been in love, friend Delio, nor in prison, nor a suitor at the court, nor begged the reversion of some great man's place, nor troubled with an old wife, which doth make your time so insensible hasten.
Pray, sir, tell me, hath not this news arrived yet to the ear of Lord Cardinal?
इसके नीचे दिखाई नहीं दे I fear it hath. The Lord Ferdinand, that's newly come to court, doth bear himself right dangerously.
Pray, why?
He is so quiet that he seems to sleep, the tempest out, as dormice in winter. Those houses that are haunted are more still, till the devil be up.
What say the common people?
The common rabble do directly say, she is a strumpet.
And your graver heads, which would be politic, what censure they?
They do observe, they do observe, I grow to infinite purchase, the left-hand way, and all suppose the Duchess would amend it. If she could, for say they, great princes, though they grudge their officers, should have such large and unconfined means to get wealth under them, will not complain, lest thereby they should make the oddest unto the people. For other obligation of love or marriage between her and me, they would dream of. They never dream of.
The Lord Ferdinand is going to bed.
Analyze this yourself. So, the one who played Delio's part will tell me about Delio. The one who played Antonio will tell me about Antonio. Begin. Who began first? Antonio. Tell me, Antonio, what have you been talking about in this section?
So he's talking to Delio that you have been a stranger from court from a long time. So he's asking him that how have you been? That come you along. Did you came with the Ferdinand this time to court?
And
And then is answering him that I did came with this Ferdinand, and he's asking him about the Duchess, and he's asking how she is. He's telling him that she's well and she's excellent. Since you and telling him that since you last saw her, she has two more children, a son and a daughter, and Delio is answering that I think how it happened. I think it happened yesterday that I left this court. How it happened that she that then Antonio tells him that how you can think that it has been a very less time is has there been something very wrong with you? You don't have a troubled wife or something like with a version of some like you don't have something with you so that time seems so insensible to you that time seems very less this elongated this less to you. So Delio Antonio tells him, Delio, pray, sir, tell me, hath not this new arrival yet to the ear of the Lord Cardinal? Delio tells him that you pray that this arrival doesn't go to the Lords of the Cardinal. He doesn't know about this arrival. Antonio tells him that I fear it would had like he knows about this. So what this other Lord Ferdinand is newly come to court. The Lord Ferdinand that's newly come to court doth bear himself right dangerously. What's this? I don't understand this one. The Lord Ferdinand that's newly come to court. Asha, Lord Ferdinand that has newly just now come to the court, don't bear himself right dangerously. Don't bear him. Okay.
doth
Delio,
bear
pray here
himself,
us.
doth bear himself dangerously means he is not in good spirits.
Okay. Delio is asking him, "Why should I pray? Like, why you are asking me to pray? What's
No,
happened?"
no, it's
He's
not
so
that
quiet.
pray. It's not that pray.
Okay,
Anyway, you see in
okay
this
then.
age literature, 16th, 17th century literature, pray. Pray is like swearing, like Mary, good Mary. Why?
Okay.
It's
He's
like
so quiet that he
swearing,
seems to
pray.
speak
Why?
the tempest out of dormice in winter. Those houses. He tells him that he is so quiet, and it's like something like when something is very sorry, when something is very quiet, it seems that तूफान से पहले की शांति is like that. It's very quiet first, and then there comes up after that. Why say the common people? And he's Delhi asking what the people say about the duchesses as he says he's telling him that people are saying about duchess that she's a strumpet. What's trumpet, ma'am?
Strumpet is the musical instrument, but here it carries a different meaning. Strumpet. Strumpet is used in the court. What do you know of this trumpet being used in the court for?
जब कोई
Maybe
आता है उसको करने
हाँ
के लिए
उसका इंट्रो ये करने के लिए.
Yeah. So, what do the common people say about this? Which means the detrimental effect of the private life of the Duchess can be seen on the society in general, which is ironic
Yeah.
also. Ironic too what Antonio said in the very first act, very first scene, where he says that courts must be properly conducted, like French courts are. Delio, can you do your part until this portion?
यस मैम पहले तो सेटिंग चेंज हो जाती है फ्रॉम रोम टू मैल्फी और इट इज लाइक आफ्टर 2 years कि क्या होता है जब एंटोनियो एंड डेलियो मीट एंड एंटोनियो मतलब मुझे एंटोनियो वाला पार्ट भी बोलना है
Only Antonio. No, only Delio. You
डेलियो
play Delio. Only Delio.
ओके तो बेसिकली ये हाल चाल पूछते हैं एक दूसरे से कि हाउ इज बेन एंड एवरीथिंग और डचेस कैसी है उसके बारे में एंटोनियो जवाब देता है उसके बाद डेलियो बोलता है कि इट्स लाइक इट वाज यस्टरडे कि जब हम लास्ट टाइम मिले थे एंड एवरीथिंग तो ये मीटिंग इट्स लाइक जैसे पहले एक्ट में वो मीटिंग होती है जब एंटोनियो और डेलियो मिलते हैं बिल्कुल स्टार्ट में तो लेकिन वहाँ पे वो गुड गवर्नमेंट के बारे में बात कर रहे होते हैं लेकिन यहाँ पे एंटोनियो एडमिट करते हैं कि हाउ दिस मैरिज मतलब बीइंग केप्ट अ सीक्रेट वो कैसे अफेक्ट कर रहा है डचेस को एज अ रूलर इवन विदाउट द न्यू डेंजर ऑफ फर्डिनेंड्स प्रेजेंस और उसके बाद डेलियो बोलता है कि क्या कार्डिनल को अभी तक पता नहीं चला है इस सब के बारे में और फिर एंटोनियो उसका जवाब देता है और उसके बाद कॉमन पीपल क्या बोल रहे हैं उसके बाद में पूछता है और ऐसे ही लोग बात करते हैं डेलियो ने उसने कुछ नहीं बोला इसलिए तो
Hmm. Okay, Antonio, continue. Delio, Antonio, your last part. Hello? Your voice is breaking.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes. Mami discuss. Yeah. They do observe I grow to infinite person. Hello.
Yeah.
हाँ मैं आ रही
Uh,
हूँ
okay. They do observe I grow to infinite purchase. A left hand way. All I suppose the Duchess would amend it if she could. For say they. Okay, I'm not getting it.
Okay. They do observe
They
I
do
grow to
observe I
infinite
grow to
purchase,
infinite
the
purchase.
left hand way, and all suppose the Duchess would amend it if she could. So he is talking about how about the people in the court? How do they talk about the relationship about you and the Duchess? And Antonio says they feel that I have grown in wealth and property. The hand way means not the right way, and which means that she is favoring him too much. And all suppose The Duchess would amend it, or prepare that she would one day or other amend her ways if she could. For they, they say, which means they say, the people in the politics say, great princes, though they grudge their officers, should have such large and unconfined means to get wealth under them, will not complain, lest thereby they should make them odious unto the people. For other obligations of love and marriage between her and me, they never dream of. They don't know about our relationship of marriage, of being in love. But they only know that she is favoring me in wealth. And they believe that great princes will be crushed by other officers if she doesn't treat them equally, and they will ultimately complain unless and until lest thereby they should make them odious unto the people. Make whom odious? Who is them? Them here. They make them odious unto the people. That great princes, if they ought to be good with their people, this is about the princes. Great princes will otherwise be taken as odious by the people. So, who talks about great princes? The princes, how they must behave. Again, something of a Renaissance text.
Yes, ma'am.
The Prince by
The
Machiavelli, Machiavellian Prince.
Machiavellian prince.
Yeah, the Prince by Machiavelli. And then enters. This again, you see the Ferdinand is going to bed. So the end of the previous scene, Act 2, was that I will sleep and I will not stir unless I know who leaps with my sister. And apparently he has been asleep since then. It's been 2 to 3 years. Now she has had 3 kids more, and he yet doesn't know who the man is. And Antonio himself says the politic do not know who the man is. They don't know our relationship of love and marriage. And so is Ferdinand. He is still in bed. He is struck by that palsy in anger, PLSY. He's paralyzed to move. He is still in bed. Again going to bed. I'll instantly to bed, for I am weary. I am to bespeak a husband for you. I am to bespeak a husband for you,
Yeah, to be spoken. I have to
who you can
speak
marry.
for.
Why would he say
Oh,
that? Why did he bring a man as a second husband for his sister? For Misa, pray who is it? The great Count Malatesti. Fie upon him, a count! He is a mere stick of sugar candy. You may look quite through him. When I choose a husband, I will marry for your honor. You shall do well in it. How is it, worthy Antonio? But, sir, I am to have private conference with you about a scandalous report is spread touching mine honor. He has heard something about Antonio. The Duchess says it's a scandalous report, and I'll explain. Let me be ever deaf to it. One of Pasquale's paper bullets, quote Clumsy, a pestilent air, while princes' palaces are seldom purged of, yet, say that it were true, I pour it in your bosom. My fixed love would strongly excuse, extenuate, nay, deny faults, were they apparent in you. Go be safe in your own innocence. Here again, you get to know about his love for her. Less than a minute left for the meeting. Can we leave this here and continue some other time?
yes, ma'am.